What's up guys, and welcome back to Software Solutions, and today we're talking about Call of Duty Warzone and its latest updates. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Call of Duty has brought out a couple of new updates for the October update, which is the Halloween season. And ladies and gentlemen, all you're going to need to do is follow my guidelines and you should be good to go. I'm going to make this video short, sweet, and simple. Just follow my guidelines from the beginning to the end, watch the entire video. If this worked for you, smash a like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a couple of things that I'm going to show you that is very beneficial for your computer right now at this very moment, where people are struggling, for instance, with a new Nvidia driver. The new Nvidia driver is actually giving problems, and people are rolling back their drivers to be able to have the computer function correctly. Now, I have a fix for this, another fix for it, where you can be on the exact same driver, which is the latest driver that's out right now. You can be on it without your computer, without your digital vibrance, without the entire Nvidia control panel settings, being on the latest graphics card driver, and let it run perfectly fine. I'm going to show you how to do that. Stay tuned and just watch my video from the beginning to the end and you should be good to go. All right, let's jump straight into this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the first thing I highly recommend you go ahead and do on your desktop, please be on your desktop right now when you're watching this video, please, because we're going to go through everything. You can just literally just take my steps as is from the beginning to the end of my video and you should be good to go. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, don't skip through my video. Please don't. Just go from the beginning of my video right to the end and you should be good to go with settings, with the game running perfectly fine and everything being up to date on your computer the way it should be for a competitive gameplay experience, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so the first thing I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this over here. I'm just going to open up GeForce Experience. This is GeForce Experience over here. If you do own GeForce Experience, ladies and gentlemen, and if you are an Nvidia user, there is a bug happening on the latest graphics card driver, which is 561.09. This is the latest graphics card driver that's giving bugs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are on this driver right now, and you are seeing that your digital vibrance is changing itself to back to 50% and stuff like that, I highly recommend that you go ahead and download. You could just go to Google and type in Nvidia driver download and then go to this official website. I'll just leave it in a link in the description down below so you don't have to Google it. You can just go down in the description down below and then click on the link that I left in the description down below and it will open this up for you. And then all you're going to need to do is actually select your graphics card. As you can see, I selected mine and then you say find. Now, obviously, just please change this depending on which Windows you are using or what operating system you are using. Please go ahead and select the correct one and say find. Once you click on find like this, it will obviously go ahead and find the driver for you, which is the latest one that's out right now. And you can also go back to the previous one if you would want to, and I told people to go ahead and download this one instead because it doesn't give problems. This one also doesn't give problems. The only reason why it's giving problems is the game ready driver has bugs in it and it's being sorted out. It will probably only be sorted out once a new driver gets released. So what I recommend you go ahead and do is you just click on this view button over here, and what it's going to do for you is it will do this. Okay, then once you are on here, you're going to click on the download button and it will start downloading it for you. I did this myself, and then what I highly recommend you go ahead and do is once you click on the download button, it will start downloading it at the top, and then install it. Once you install it, please install the Nvidia Studio driver. You do not need to use the game ready driver. Whatever driver is perfectly for you, use it. But what I highly recommend you do is be on the latest graphics card driver and make sure that it works. The one that works is the Studio driver version. The one that I'm on right now, it works perfectly fine. I can restart my computer and everything, and then my digital vibrance does not change. So I'm just going to open up Nvidia control panel and show you. Adjust desktop color settings. I have mine at 65 over here and in 95 over here. Let's just say I restart my computer, or I shut my computer down and I restart my computer and I come back into Nvidia control panel. These things will still stay the same because of the Studio driver. The Studio driver actually is more beneficial because there is no bugs happening in this driver. The game ready driver actually has bugs where it takes this back to 50% and your screen looks really washed out like this. I mean, just take your digital vibrance from where it is to 50% and look how shit your screen looks. It looks like an old fucking ass TV. So download the Studio drivers. This is super easy to do. Just go ahead and download it and you should be good to go. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in here already, so I'm just going to go over this as well. Please, from here, go to your, just save this, so just say apply, ladies and gentlemen, and then go to config surrounded physics and make sure that you have your dedicated graphics card selected inside here. It's very important. And then auto select, do not select this, and then CPU. CPU is only if you have an APU unit, meaning you have a graphics card built into your CPU, so you have an APU unit. If you Google APU unit, it will explain what it is. I'm not going to explain this. It's going to make the video way too long. Just make sure that you're on your dedicated graphics card. Most people that's playing this game has a dedicated graphics card. Select it. Do not say auto select, because then it will bounce around between your GPU and your CPU and start using weird VRAM usages, and you'll get like lag spikes, and you'll get like weird shit happening in your game, like stuttering and stuff like that. You don't want that. So please select a graphics card inside here. It's very important, and apply it. From here, you're going to go to manage 3D settings, and you're going to come inside here. Please, ladies and gentlemen, all you're going to need to do inside here, I'm not going to explain everything inside here every single time I upload a fucking video, because you can just go to one of my previous videos and I explain everything inside here, what needs to be done and what does not need to be done inside here, what needs to be off and what needs to be on. Just copy everything inside here as is. Just do this, copy everything as is, pause my video over here, copy everything as is, and you should be good to go, ladies and gentlemen. Especially if you're on a newer generation graphics card from Nvidia, because we are an Nvidia control panel right now. You can't do this on AMD because AMD does not own Nvidia control panel. All right, so obviously you can do this through your AMD applications and stuff like that. Perfectly fine. One thing I want to mention, and please go ahead and do this, is copy these two things over here. So select your dedicated graphics card, prefer maximum performance, driver default, off allow, quality if you have a decent enough graphics card. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very important. If you have a lower generation graphics card with 4 gigs of VRAM, or let's say 6 gigs of VRAM, I would highly recommend you put this on performance when it comes to 6 gig to 8 gig. Now, no, I'm not talking about your RX 580 that has 8 gigs of VRAM. Please, for the love of fuck, don't leave me a comment down below that you have an RX 580 and it's got a lot of VRAM because it's got 8 gigs. Yes, VRAM is very important, but VRAM is very important on newer generation graphics cards. If it's on an older generation graphics card, okay, the 1080 Ti is a different story. It's a different competition. It's a whole new debate, but I'm not going to get into that. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you have something like an RX 580 or something like that, 590, whatever the fuck you have, something like that. I'm just comparing this to a graphics card. A lot of people comment down below that they have an RX 580. Please, for the love of fuck, don't tell me that you have 8 gigs of VRAM and that you can think that you can put this on quality. An RX 580 is the equivalent of a fucking calculator. It's the equivalent of a Samsung fridge and you're playing Call of Duty on it. Please, for the love of fuck, do not put this at quality. Put this at high performance if you own an RX 580 or a graphics card equivalent to it. Okay, now let's step this up. Let's go, you have a 1660 or you have a 2060 6 gig graphics card. You're going to go here with performance and your game will run perfectly fine. Now we're going to step this up. We're going to go to the 30 series and we're going to go to the 40 series graphics cards. We're going to go to quality over here and you'll be good to go. That's newer generation graphics cards and the equivalent from Nvidia to AMD side. You could just type in your graphics card, the equivalent to an Nvidia card, and you'll know what GPU you have and what you should put inside here. So ladies and gentlemen, put inside this setting what goes with your graphics card. You need to do this. If you don't do this inside here, this is not just for Warzone, it's not just for Call of Duty, it's for every single fucking game you are playing. Now, if you put something wrong inside here, your game's going to run like absolute shit. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make an example. If I have a fucking RX 4070 Super over here, and I go to high performance, I'm going to do way more FPS in my fucking game. Yes, but my game's going to look like absolute fucking dog shit. But if I had a lower generation graphics card, let's say a 2060, right? Which I used to own, okay? I would go to performance and my game will still look perfectly fine because it has 6 gigs of VRAM. It's an older generation graphics card, but my game will still look good and run good at the same time because this is selected on performance. I do know that I said I don't want to explain too much here, but if I don't explain this, a lot of people just fucking go ahead and select quality, even though they're on a shit graphics card. Yes, I know not everyone can go out and sell their kidneys to buy a new graphics card. I get it, okay? So then if you don't want to sell your fucking kidney, come in here, go to high performance if you have a lower generation graphics card, and then go to performance if you have a medium end graphics card. And then when you go to 30 series to 40 series, you go to quality. Some people can actually get away with 20 series cards on quality as well. If you're one of those people, go ahead and put it on quality and test it out. Please go ahead and do so. All right, threaded optimization, please go ahead and have this on, and then triple buffered, you can have off, and then all 4 these things are just virtual reality things. You are not playing a fucking virtual reality game. So just keep it like this, and then just apply these settings like this, and you should be good to go. Yes, all right. From here, you're going to go to adjust image settings with preview. Very, very important. Have this at use the advanced 3D image settings, because then it will actually use the manage 3D settings over here. So if you go over here and you use this, it will not use that anymore. So please have this on this. Apply the settings, because then it will apply it to these settings that you just applied inside here, because a lot of people don't understand how this works. Maybe you're new to computers and stuff like that and you don't know how this works. But if you go over here and you say let the 3D application decide, then your GPU will decide what it wants to do. You do not want that. If you select use my preference, then it's basically going to choose your preference. Do you want quality in your game, or do you want performance? As you can see, this looks like dog shit. I don't know if it's going to show on YouTube, but this looks like dog shit now. There's so much like little, I don't know, it's just, it looks terrible. It looks like shit, okay? If you put it on balance, it looks okay, depending on your machine. And if you put it at quality, then obviously it's going to be the best, okay? But, ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to be using this. You're going to be using the use the advanced 3D image settings, because if you click on take me there, it's going to take you to manage 3D settings, and it's going to be using these ones over here. Right, ladies and gentlemen, copy these settings. You should be good to go. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this right here. And please, for the love of fuck, go and do this, okay? I know a lot of people don't do this because they're lazy, but unfortunately, sometimes Windows automatically does it for you, and then you'll just see like an update come up here on your screen here at the bottom, a little notification saying that, hey, your computer is going to shut down if you're not on it, or whatever the case might be. If you're not moving your mouse, you're not on your keyboard, or you're watching, I don't know, a Netflix movie or something, your computer's just randomly going to restart because there's updates that needs to be up to date. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very important. If you don't fucking do this, then your computer's automatically going to do it for you at random times, at times where you don't want it to do so. It might do it while you're playing games. It might do it while you're watching something. It might do it while you're doing something very, very important. Or watching something very important, whatever the case might be. Your Windows will automatically just do an update and restart itself. You don't want to do that, so please, for the love of fuck, just come to the start button like this. It's very easy to do. Go to the settings, little gear icon like this, and then open this up and go to update and security, and come inside here and say check for updates. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a Windows 10 user or Windows 11 user, make sure you have the latest drivers installed on Windows. It's very fucking important. If Call of Duty is doing updates and all your other games are doing updates, your graphics card drivers are doing updates, everything is doing updates, then please come inside here. As you can see, it just updated something yet again. Come inside here, do the updates, and let it finish. If it asks you to restart your computer, don't restart it yet. Restart your computer after you've watched this entire video, so everything can be applied to your computer, meaning the graphics card settings, the Nvidia control panel settings, the in-game settings I'm about to show you for the, depending on what machine you are running. Then you can go ahead and restart your computer. Then let it do its updates and stuff like that for Windows and all those nice things. Please, ladies and gentlemen, for the love of fuck, update your Windows. It's very important. I don't understand, like, I know it's for me, it's also annoying. I don't want to come in here all the time and update my fucking Windows, but it literally fucking at the bottom here lets me know, like, hey, fuck you. Hey, mister, cool. Hey, there's a fucking update. Do it. You know, so do your updates. It's very important, ladies and gentlemen. From here, you can just go to the home button, and then from here, you can go to privacy, scroll all the way down. If you haven't done this already yet, ladies and gentlemen, and you're new to my videos, come inside here, go to background apps, and come inside here. If you're a Windows 10 user like me, you're just going to go from on to off, and then all these programs won't run in the background, like Cortana, and just bullshit programs that shouldn't be running while you are playing games. Now, if you're a Windows 11 user, you're going to have to individually disable these things one by one. Now, I'm not going to Google and show you how to do that. Just Google it yourself. You have access to the internet. Since you are watching my video, just fucking go do some research. It's very easy to do. I know I'm trying to do as much research as I can to let you guys just watch a fucking video to apply the settings for your games and stuff like that. But for the love of fuck, if you own Windows 11, just go to Google, type in how to disable these things, background apps, and disable them. I don't like Windows 11. Windows 11 can go fuck itself. Honestly, it looks like Mac. I'm not a Mac user. I don't know. It's more for productive shit, like if you make music or you work, shit like that. Nah, fuck that. I play games. I'm on Windows 10. I'll stay on it. For fuck's sake. Just, I don't want to get into this. I really don't, because I'm going to get comments down below. Oh, dude, you still on Windows 10. I don't give a fuck. I've been a computer enthusiast since I was 9 years old. Go fuck yourself. It's your own personal preference. There we go. Let's do it like that. Windows operating system, own personal preference. I mean, you can play on your Samsung fridge if you want to. You could play on your Samsung toaster and put your Windows fucking settings off if you want to, while having an iOS on it. I don't give a fuck. Honestly, I really don't. Just make sure that you have your background apps turned off, and turn it the fuck off, and done. From here, you're going to go to the home settings, and you're going to come inside here. Now, from here, you're going to come to gaming. It's very important that you have this on right now, this very moment. Is the game bar. For some reason, the game bar is giving issues as well. I don't know why this is a thing, but yeah, I highly suggest you turn it on. Just fucking go ahead, turn it on. I've tested this. It actually gives you problems when you turn it off. I don't know why this is a thing. I don't know what Windows is smoking. Maybe Windows is also smoking the same shit that Call of Duty is smoking. Laced crack. Don't know. Probably are. Don't know. But putting this on actually helps the game a little bit of not stuttering and feeling like dog shit. So turn it the fuck on. From here, you're going to go to game mode, turn this on. Game mode should be on. Turn it on right now at this very moment. It's been off for like, what? I think season 3 it was off. Season 4, season 5, season 6, it was on. Leave it on right now at this very moment. It needs to be on. From here, you go to graphic settings, and then from here, you have hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. Turn this the fuck on, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have this option, don't worry about it then. Just like, you just leave it, okay? If you don't have this option. If you do have this option, turn it the fuck on and have it the fuck on. It makes the game run much smoother overall in general. When it comes to Warzone, because Warzone is an open, it's not really an open world, but it's a battle royale. So it's very kind of like an open world, because you jump out of a fucking plane and there's so much shit to render. Your CPU needs to do work. Your GPU needs to do work. Your M.2 needs to do work. Your RAM needs to do work. Every single component in your computer does work to render the stuff in the game. So turn this the fuck on. If you can benefit from it, if you have this option, turn it on. From here, you're going to go to the home button, and you're going to come to apps over here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I don't want to make this video long, so I'm just going to do this. Everything that's inside here that is single-player games, okay, and you don't play it, okay, or programs that you don't use, uninstall them, especially if you only have one drive. If you only have one drive, your C drive, which where your Windows is installed, your iOS is installed, okay? Windows 10, Windows 11, whatever fucking Windows you are running. If your drive is in the red, okay, start uninstalling stuff. Your drive needs to stay in the blue. If it's not in the blue, your Windows is going to start running slower. And then it's not just going to affect your Windows, it's going to affect your gameplay's performance. Please, for the love of fuck, go and uninstall unnecessary bullshit that's on your machine. What the fuck? My voice just went away. I love it. Anyways, just fucking uninstall the shit. Please, please, please. You see these things? Don't uninstall them. They are very important for Windows. Please don't fucking uninstall them. Like I said, applications, games you don't play, like this. I don't even play this. It's been on my machine, but I'm not going to uninstall it because I have multiple M.2 drives and they are fucking huge. So I don't need to uninstall them. But yet again, there's a lot of people out there that only has one drive, like I said, a C drive where their Windows is on and their Call of Duty is installed on there as well. And everything's installed on there and their drive's now red because it has like 2 gigs available or 10 gigs available and it's fucking red. Please make sure that you have more than 30 to 40 gigs available, because then it will become blue and your Windows will start running better and overall have a smoother gameplay experience and your Windows will run much, much better. Please, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and do this. All right, now you can fuck out of this. Now, the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is these 3 steps, and you need to do it every week. You could do it every month if you want to, but please go ahead and do this. Windows key and R. It's going to bring up the run tab like this. You're going to type in prefetch like that, and then pressing enter. One time, shoe shine. It's going to look like this, and you're going to click on anything inside here and press Control and A and highlight everything inside you and press the delete key on your keyboard, or right click and say delete. A lot of people do that as well. Just say skip and then cool. Windows can't delete these 2 things right now because it's currently being used through Windows. It's like trying to delete Windows while you are on it. Okay, if you get my drift. Anyways, now, next one's going to be Windows key and R again. This time you're not going to type in prefetch anymore. You're going to type in temp. So T-E-M-P, just like this, and press enter. Yet again, you're going to click on anything inside here, like this, Control and A, highlight everything, press delete on your keyboard, and then say continue. You're going to delete everything inside here and say cancel, because Windows can't delete a file. It's busy being used. This file is being used by Windows right now, so it can't be deleted, okay? Otherwise, your computer will just crash. Okay, cool, awesome. Next one will be Windows key and R again. This time you could just put a percentage symbol in front of the P, go all the way to the T by pressing the left key arrow, or you could type it out yourself. Just delete everything and just type in percentage, temp, percentage. Press enter, and then you're going to come inside here. This is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very important one, okay? This is probably the most important one, all right? So there is this program, or well, this fucking place. Yeah, anyways, fuck this place. Anyways, just go to delete and then say continue and just delete everything inside here and skip, and then there you go. You're gonna just say do this on all current items and say skip, and then Windows can't delete the files that is currently being used. It can't delete them. Like I said, it's like almost deleting Windows off of itself, basically. Now, once you're done with that, you're going to need to empty your recycling bin. Now I have multiple screens. I'm just moving my fucking OBS. I'm going to put my recycling bin on my screen. Right click on it, go to empty recycling bin and say yes, and say continue, and delete all the bullshit. Just delete all the bullshit. You just delete it off your computer, and then yeah, I'm just going to move that back to my other screen, and then there we go. That's something you need to do at least, I don't know, once a week. Once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, once a month, you should be good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, trust me, you will be good to go. All right. Next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is, before we get into the game settings, which I'm about to do right now, is this over here. And it also plays a very big role, ladies and gentlemen, is this over here. You're going to come here, type in CMD, and then please don't just left click, because if you left click, it's going to say C, users, and your name. That is wrong. Please do it like this. Type in CMD like this. Right click on it, run as administrator, say yes to the command prompt, and then it's going to look like this. C, Windows, System 32. Now, you're going to type in SFC spacebar / scan now. One word, and press enter like this. Now, if you press enter, it's going to start doing that. And it's going to verify if all your Windows files are okay. Now, what this will do is it will automatically fix files for you that are corrupted in your Windows files, okay? Now, a lot of people don't do this that I'm basically doing right now. They've never done it before, or they don't trust this, or they just haven't done it ever. Please go ahead and do this, because it might tell you that it has found files that are corrupted and automatically fixed it for you, okay? Very, very important, ladies and gentlemen, that you fucking do this, okay? If you are a serious gamer and you love seeing good FPS, love having competitive settings, love having a good computer, if you're one of those fucking people and you're watching my video, smash that motherfucking like button, because everything I just showed you right now will make your games run better, will make everything run better on your machine, and make Call of Duty just overall run way better. This is what I do for a living, and ladies and gentlemen, trust me, everything you just watched from the beginning to the end of my video, and that's why I say don't skip through my fucking shit, because you are going to skip out on very important things that can help your machine run better. If you are running a low-end machine to a medium-end machine and you don't do these things, okay, your machine's just going to slack, and you're going to be like, huh, my computer feels like a toaster, I might as well throw it out my fucking window. Yes, it's because you're not doing any of these things. I do these things while having a high-end machine. I'm running a 14700K, a 4070 Super, and they both overclocked with a water cooling loop on it. And then on top of it, I have 6,000 megahertz RAM. Yes, I know, it's not the highest, but they're overclocked as well. I use XMP profiles. So ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and go through this as well. There you go. As you can see, it says no fucking integrity violations has been found. It's good. My Windows is okay. Now, the reason why it's saying it's okay is because I've done this before and it found corrupt files and it fixed it for me. Then just run it again once it's done. People has actually asked me in my comments, yo dude, can you run this application? Let us see you run it finish. Now there you go. It's fucking run to finish and it's done. Okay, I have no violations. There's no fucking broken files on my Windows because it's fixed. Now, like I said, if anything is corrupt in your Windows, it will tell you. It will automatically fix it. Then do the same thing. Type in SFC spacebar / scan now, press enter, and then let it say this: Windows Resource Protection did not find any integrity violations. Once it says that, your Windows is perfectly fine and you are good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into Call of Duty's best settings right now for the latest updates. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the game right now, and I just want to point something out over here, is this over here. as you can see, I'm eating 4.83 gigabytes. That's about 5 gigs that I'm using. So this is basically very, very good for people out there that's using 6 gig graphics cards and above. All right. Okay. And as you can see, it says other apps over here. It's only eating about 80. So that's about almost a gig. So that's 800 megs that it's eating, basically, because it's 79. That's about 800 megs that it's eating. But just do know, if you use Discord, it will go to like 1 gig, maybe even 2 gigs, depending on what all you have open. So what I suggest you do is, if you do use Discord, go ahead and use it. But if you use other programs and stuff like that, like your Google tabs are open and you're Googling stuff while you're listening to music and stuff like that, rather close them, because then this will actually drop down to its lowest. The reason why that's at 79 right now is because I'm using OBS, and OBS does obviously use my graphics card to record this video. So that's why it's at 7 or 79, basically 800 megs of being other apps being used while I'm in the game. Okay, this is something I want to point out, right? As you can see, I have a 12 gig graphics card, so here we go. Right, like I said, so this is what I want to explain to people, is this over here. If you have multiple screens, go with full screen borderless. If you have one dedicated screen like a monitor or a display, like a laptop display, go full screen exclusive. It gives you less input latency. If you have one screen, go with this. Now, if you have a lower end graphics card, go with windowed mode. You can actually use this and then downscale the resolution of what you're playing at. So let's say you're playing at 1080p or you're playing at 1440p, but you have a low end gaming graphics card or something like that, but you've got a really decent screen, then I highly suggest you go over here and then downscale the resolution to maybe 1080p or even 720p. You should be good to go with windowed mode. You can also go with full screen extended windowed, and that's also good to go with lower end machines. Go ahead and choose this. All right, let's go over to the next step. All right, so the next step I highly recommend you change is this over here, and this is only for people out there that knows about aspect ratio. I use aspect ratio 16:9 for all my games that I play. Every single first-person shooting game that I play, I use 16:9, and this is how I play my game. Now, if you have a gaming monitor that's like an ultra wide or whatever the case might be, it's a very expensive monitor, whatever the case might be, go with automatic over here, because Call of Duty will automatically then select what is necessary to be used for your specific rig. All right, from here you're going to go here, but we're going to come back to this later on, because you don't have to do it now. You have to click on this once everything has been changed inside the settings. All right, display gamma, you can put this at literally 2.2 if you have a monitor, just a normal monitor or a laptop display. Go 2.2 over here. If you have a gaming monitor that can push out more pixels, more resolution, and obviously more hertz, you can go with 2.4 over here. I do this because it actually gives me a little bit of more just digital vibrance in the game. It actually makes the game a little bit more intense, and I like it, and this is why I use it. All right, brightness, you're going to go with 55 to 60%. Do not push it over 60%. Your game's going to look like absolute washed out dog shit. Just leave it at 55 or 60%, not its defaults, which is 50, because you won't be able to see people in dark corners. All right, constant mouse to game window, turn this the fuck off. Now, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very important role, is in the video reflex low latency. It plays a very, very big role on the game itself, depending on what machine you're running, low end, medium end to high end. Now, what you're going to need to do inside here is this. If you've never changed anything inside here, like for instance this option, if you've never changed it, leave it as it is. Okay, if it's on, leave it on. If it's on plus boost, leave it on plus boost, because your computer automatically selected it for you. COD automatically selected it for you. But if you went to go and change it, the reason why you would want to change this again or leave it on what it is, I'm going to explain it, is this. Okay, so on plus boost, if you are CPU bound cases, meaning you basically have a way better GPU than your CPU, and then you put it on, you have a way better CPU than a GPU. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, I just want to explain that. But if it gave you something already, stay on it. Okay, even though my 14700K and my 4070 Super runs perfectly fine neck and neck next to each other, but there's always a bottleneck happening. It doesn't matter with what machine you are running. You can have the best machine out there, there's always a bottleneck happening somewhere in your machine. It could be your M.2, it could be like your graphics card, it could be your CPU, it could be your RAM, it could be anything. So I highly suggest that you put this on if you are GPU bound, and you put it on plus boost if you are CPU bound. Okay, that's how that works. All right, eco mode, preset, custom. You're going to go to VSync game menus. Now, something I just want to mention is this. People left a comment down below in my previous video, and I want to explain what this does, because they actually were like, yo, dude, I can't get my machine off of 60 FPS. Now, the reason why you can't get your machine off of 60 FPS is because you most likely went to this over here, which is VSync gameplay. What this will do is it will sync to the refresh rate of your screen. So let's say you're doing 60 hertz. That's why you were only capped at 60 FPS. It's because your screen's refresh rate is at 60 hertz. So let's say you have a 120, 144, 240 hertz screen, up to all the way to 500 hertz screen. It will cap it to that if you put this at 100%, okay? And if you click on it and apply it, then, but this is not the only reason why you would want to do this. The main reason, the main reason why you would want to do this is if you don't want your GPU to overwork itself, okay? Basically, if you don't want it to do that, I let my GPU do that all the time. I let it overwork itself all the time once I'm in this game, okay? That's what it's meant to do. Newer GPUs are meant to do that. Even older GPUs are meant to do that. You are meant to let your GPU push as much as it can out of it. You want all the juice out of it to get more FPS and have a smoother gameplay experience. But if you're getting something like screen tearing, like that, and your game is tearing itself apart, it doesn't look so perfect, it looks like this, then I highly suggest you come inside, you put this on 100%, then it will cap your FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor. So if you're doing 60, it means you have a 60 hertz monitor. If you're doing 120, it means you have a 120 hertz monitor. 144, 240, 500. You get my point. Okay, I have mine off because I don't get screen tearing, so I have mine off. I don't have screen tearing while I'm in the menus either, and I'm not going to cap my FPS while I'm in the menus either. Now, custom frame rate limit, I have mine unlimited, and I've always had mine unlimited, so I can always see that I'm doing unlimited FPS in this game. Now, you can go ahead and go to custom and customize this yourself if you know what you are doing. And it's yet again also a personal preference, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to do this, it's a personal preference. So if you know you got a 144 hertz monitor, then you type 144, press enter, and you will only do up to 144 FPS, and it will stop there. It won't go any further. Okay, let's say you got a better screen than this, and you got a 240 hertz monitor. That's as high as your FPS will go. Now, let's just say you have a 500 hertz monitor, which not a lot of people do, but let's just say you do, right? Then obviously 300 is the max you can put this on. You can't put this on 500, but then leave it at 300 like this. The menu custom frame rate, you can actually just cap it to the exact same hertz of your screen as well. So let's say it's 120, you leave it at 120. Right? So let's say it's 144, you leave it at 144. You get my point, okay? I don't have to type it in here again. You get my point. Cap it to the refresh rate of your monitor. But let me just put an example in here. I'm just going to go over 60 and leave it at 60. Then out of focus at 30%. Yet again, ladies and gentlemen, own personal preference when it comes to this. Now, for me, personal preference is unlimited. I do unlimited FPS in this game. Always push my GPU to its max, so it does the max FPS, and my games just run smooth overall with this being unlimited. Now, a lot of people will say that putting your GPU on unlimited FPS and, you know, doing the ultimate power source and all that shit, like, just in general, people say that you're gonna kill your graphics card. No, it will not die. It physically won't die. Don't let people embed that into your head that if your GPU overworks itself too much, that it's just going to burn out and die. That's not a thing, okay? It's not a thing. I've never encountered a client of mine where he's like, yo, dude, my GPU burnt out because I put everything on unlimited and I pushed it to the max. Yeah, you can burn out your GPU if you overvolt it or something like that. In, like, for instance, if you do overvolting and overclocking and stuff like that. Yes, by overvolting the GPU, putting more power into it can kill it. Yes, but undervolting your GPU and maybe doing a little bit of overclocking, that's fine. Nothing will happen to your GPU, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be perfectly fine. And yes, I said customers, ladies and gentlemen. If you have your game crashing, or you want the best settings, or you want basically me to optimize your game for you, or you want me to do everything for you personally, you can just email me right here. You can just email me right there. I will then obviously reply to you. I can add you to my Discord. And then, yes, I do charge a service fee. Don't just add me because I do charge a service fee. I don't do these things for free, because the last person I actually helped, I actually sat 8 hours with this person trying to fix his game from not crashing to the desktop randomly while he's in a game, while he's in the menu, literally while his game just starts up. The intro video is playing and then it crashes to the desktop. I sat 8 hours with this dude trying to get his game working, and I have the results of it. If you want like a preference or whatever the case might be, I have screenshots of this. I have all my stuff in folders of clients that I've helped out, and they work perfectly fine. They are perfectly pleased with their machines right now. So if you want to email me, it's right there. Go ahead and email me, and I can sort you out as best I can. If you just remember, I do charge a service fee. I don't do this shit for free. My YouTube, I do this for free. This is free knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. Take it as it is. All right. Menu render resolution, native. Pause game rendering, off. Focus mode, off. Leave it the fuck off. I'm not going to go over this option. All right. Let's go to the quality tab. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the quality tab right now, and I have mine like this. Now, something I want to explain is this right here. I'm using Fidelity FX Cache at this resolution, meaning 4K. I'm playing my game at 4K, and my game feels perfectly fine. It runs perfectly fine because I have a decent enough graphics card, decent enough CPU, decent enough RAM, and I'm running my game on a M.2. So if you have all those things, you can run this game at 4K perfectly fine. You can. You can run this game at 1080p perfectly fine, and also 720p perfectly fine. Right. Now, I'm going to go over a couple of things. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back to 100%. All right. So 100% over here. So that's 1080p, as you can see. Now I'm going to change this. This is the most important thing inside here, is the upscaling / sharpening. It's the most important thing inside the quality tab. It's literally the most important thing. Now I'm going to go over all of them because they're very important, every single one of them. All right. Intel upscaling is very, very good for AMD cards and Nvidia cards. Just because it says Intel doesn't mean you need an Intel graphics card to do this, right? So you can go with this, because I actually used to run this on my 2060 OC, and I have it at balanced over here, and then have this one over here at 60. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, I just said this. I used to own a 2060 OC, and I used to run this setting right here. And it was running my game perfectly fine, okay? Just this setting alone. Run my game perfectly fine. Game looked amazing, and it's a good upscaling. You can go ahead and use it if you want to, depending on the GPU that you're running. Okay, now, Nvidia DLSS, I know a lot of people do use this. Go with quality over here. Yet again, it's your own personal preference. If you are running a, let's say, a card that has Nvidia DLSS and it's struggling a little bit with FPS, then go to balance. Don't go to ultra performance. Don't go to performance. The game is just going to look like absolute dog shit. Go with balance, because then it balances out the quality and the performance at the same time. If you go to quality, it will obviously balance out the quality higher and make your game look much, much better. Now, something about Nvidia DLSS, if you start running and you don't stand dead still, there's a little bit of a blur on the left and right hand side of your screen. That's just something I just want to mention. But who the fuck in this game is going to land somewhere and stand dead still? I don't know if you're one of those guys that just lay on a mountain with a sniper. Maybe that will be a good option for you, but fuck knows, you guys should just, yeah, fuck, nah. Anyways, let's not get there. All right. So if you are running this and you're running a really decent graphics card, I would go back to 80 over here. Yet again, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm going to 80 is because I don't push this thing to 90. I've never pushed this to 90. And with the clients that I worked with that owns 40, 90 graphics cards, put this at 80 as well, and I'll show you the benefit that you get out of this by putting this to 80 and not 90%, because you can use other things inside the settings in the quality tab to benefit from the 80%, okay? And then also benefit from the 60% if you have a lower generation graphics card, right? So higher generation graphics card on Nvidia DLSS, 80 over here, lower gen, go to 60. Right, from here, we're going to go to DLAA. Now, I'm not going to go to it because I'm going to skip over it, because it's a bunch of bullshit. Don't use this option. It's absolute trash. Just skip over it. I know a lot of people also use NVIDIA image scaling. Very good option as well. Then I would go with like this. Okay, native is going to do your native resolution of your monitor. So let's say it's 1080p, or let's start off 720p, 1080p, 1440p, all the way up to 4K. It will do the native resolution of your monitor if you have it on native. If you have it at ultra quality, it will do the best quality for you with your specific graphics card. But what I would recommend is, if you're running, let's say, a medium end to a higher end graphics card in general, just go to quality. You should be good to go, and your FPS will also not fluctuate too much, and your game will run perfectly fine, and it will also look crystal clear, and the game will run perfectly fine. Go with that, and then have this at 80% if you have a decent enough graphics card, and then when it's a lower end, you go to 60, okay? Perfectly fine, and that's your own personal preference over here. It's the NVIDIA image scaling sharpness, okay? Now, we're going to go to AMD FSR 1.0, and I'm going to click on it. Yes, I know a lot of people actually try this option, but I wouldn't, okay? Now, something I want to just explain is this. There's two of these things. There's AMD FSR 1.0, and there's AMD FSR 3.0, okay? Now, AMD FSR 1.0 is not the greatest one. AMD FSR 3.0 is the better version of this, okay? So that's why they implemented it into the game. Now, something I want to point out is this, and a lot of people don't understand this. If you use AMD FSR 3.0 and you use it at quality and you use AMD's frame generation, it's going to create AI frames for you. So you'll do, I don't know, let's just say, let's make an example. Let's just make an example, okay? You do 400 FPS in the game and you're playing and you're constantly doing 400, you're doing over 400, like 440, 450 FPS, okay? That is AI. Some of those frames are AI created through AMD frame generation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, yet again, you do not need to own an AMD card by using this option. You can use this option with an Nvidia card and benefit out of this as well. Now, the only reason why you would turn this off, AMD frame generation, is if you see a lot of FPS and your game still feels like shit. It feels like it's stuttering and you can't handle it, okay? Maybe your machine can't handle it, okay? Then turn this off. Turn AMD frame generation off because it's AI created frames, okay? It creates AI frames for you, so it looks like you're doing a lot of FPS and you're going to think, yo, my game's so good, like, what the fuck? And then you run around, your game feels like laggy, stuttery, it feels shit. No. Then you come here and you turn AMD frame generation, turn it the fuck off. Turn it off and it will then show you your actual frames that you are doing. So, basically, let's put it in lighter terms. Okay, let's do it like this. If you're doing shit frames with this off, okay, and you turn it on and now you're doing way more FPS. So let's make a really good example. Okay, let's say you're doing 60 FPS, like this, okay? Unlimited frames, you have your shit on unlimited frames. You're doing 60 FPS. Now you turn this thing on and it does 120 and you're like smiling because it's doing 120 FPS now because it's doubled your FPS. Now you go into the game and you're like, oh my god, I'm doing 120 FPS. I should be running in this game like perfectly fine right now. And then your game feels like absolute dog shit. Now, let me explain it to you in simple terms, which I'm trying to do right now. Okay, so if you turn this off and it goes back to 60 FPS because you do not own a very good graphics card or whatever the case might be, and you're trying to basically sugarcoat that graphics card. You're trying to implement fake frames. Okay, so now you're adding another 60 by turning this on and doing 120 FPS, and your game FPS is very good, but the game runs like dog shit. Okay, so you can't sugarcoat anything that is shit. So it's like trying to take a turd that's been on the sidewalk for a very long time, and the sun has glazed on it a very long time, and it's became white, and it looks like an ice cream cone right now. And now you're trying to put sprinkles on it. It's not going to make it any better. That's basically what I'm trying to do over here. That's like you trying to do that, okay? You turning this on, it's putting sprinkles on it, okay? It's still going to be shit. Now, let's make it in a very good example for you. If you put this on AMD FSR 3.0 and you own a very good graphics card, okay? You can get away with it. There will be no stuttering. If you are experiencing stuttering, then just turn frame generation off. Okay, if you're experiencing stuttering or input latency or anything like that. Now, I'm going to explain something to you on my side, from my end, from my own personal experience with my machine. 14700K, 4070 Super, and then 16 gigs of RAM at 6000 megahertz. AMD FSR 3.0, I put this on. Quality, I put it on. And then AMD frame generation on. I do almost 500 FPS while flying around in Call of Duty Warzone on any single fucking map. Okay, I get no stuttering. My game doesn't feel like dog shit. Why? Because I'm seeing 500 FPS, but I'm actually doing like 250, maybe like 260. Okay, because I'm still doing good FPS. Do you understand what I'm trying to get at? Okay, so people that turn this on and they use this option and you get away with it and it works for you, fuck yes, use it. But if you use this option and you turn frame generation on and you're doing a massive amount of FPS and you're playing the game and it feels like shit, come here, turn it off, look at your FPS while you're playing the game. I'll show you how to do that. It's actually very easy. You can just come over here. Let me just do it for now. Interface, I'm just going to discard the settings and then come over here and then go telemetry and then go all on. All right. So now you will be able to see your FPS and you can see what you're doing with your machine. You need to do this. Please go ahead and do this. Turn this on. If you want to see what your machine's doing, please go ahead and turn it on. Because I use MSI Afterburner and I know I don't want to skip through this because I know a lot of people don't use MSI Afterburner or stuff with AMD to see their FPS. This is how you're going to see it in your game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are back in the settings, and now you can see the FPS that I'm doing on top there in the white. Now, you all can see the FPS that you're doing because you have the telemetry turned on right now. Now, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you're only going to experience it and see it while you're playing games, not while you're in the menu. You're obviously only going to experience it while you're in the game. Okay, now, let me say it again. If you use AMD FSR 3.0 with a really good graphics card, you put this at quality and you have frame generation turned on, and your game does not stutter, it doesn't feel like dog shit, leave it on. If it does feel like stutter and it just runs like shit, turn this off and do use AMD FSR. Do use it because it's a very fucking good upscaling. Do use it and then run your game. Whatever FPS you are doing, as long as you're doing over like 120 FPS or something like that, you should be good to go, right? That's how this works, okay? I can't explain this anymore. I don't know how to explain this any fucking more. I really don't. Anyways, let's go to Fidelity FX Cache. Right now, at this very moment, I play my game at Fidelity FX Cache, and it's the most fucking intense looking AAA title setting you can use in Call of Duty right now at this very moment. Is Fidelity FX Cache. I've been using this for multiple years now, and it's just a thing. I don't know, it's just people has been in general been using Fidelity FX Cache. Why? It makes the game sharp. It makes the game run really smooth. Buildings don't look like they are tearing apart. Buildings don't jigger. Like, they literally look like they don't, like there's little pixels happening and shit like that. Go with Fidelity FX Cache. Go with this. Especially if you have a really decent computer. Go with this. You are perfectly good to go over here. Then just your own personal preference with this one. Literally own personal preference. And then, like I said, decent computers, decent GPUs, 80%. And then if you have a mid-range to a lower end, go to 60 over here and you're good to go. All right. So now I'm going to put this back here. I'm going to come to this. Now, a lot of people ask me, why do I skip over these two things over here? The reason why I skip over it is, number one, variable rate shading is just something I don't use personally. You can, if you want to. You can use this if you want to. Maybe it helps you, maybe it doesn't. Test it out. It's a personal thing. It's a personal preference. I don't use it because I don't need to use it, okay? But if you have a lower generation graphics card and you turn this on and your game feels better, go ahead. For all means, turn it the fuck on. Okay, now, Nvidia DLSS frame generation, you will only turn on if you're using anything like Nvidia. For instance, you choose this, you turn it on, and you go to, let's say, Nvidia DLSS, and now you have not AMD's frame generation on, but you have Nvidia DLSS frame generation on. Now, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, these are AI created frames. So if you turn this off, it will show you your true FPS, okay? So don't just be like, you turn this on and you see a massive amount of FPS and you're like, wow, my game's fucking amazing. And then you land and your game starts stuttering and stuff like that. If it does stutter, turn this the fuck off. Okay, if it doesn't stutter and your game runs perfectly fine, like mine, because mine runs perfectly fine with Nvidia DLSS frame generation and AMD frame generation, it runs perfectly fine. I have no issues. That's why I tell people to use this on newer generation graphics cards. Okay, so I turn mine on. Runs perfectly fine. Okay, no stutters, no nothing. My game feels fine. Doesn't feel jaggedy, doesn't feel stuttery, doesn't feel like I have input lag. It feels perfectly fine. I can hit people out the sky with a Car 98. If you can't do that, okay, you can't hit people out the sky with a Car 98 because your game feels jaggedy or whatever the case might be, turn frame generation off because you are using frame generation, which is AI created frames, okay? So I'm going to go back to my settings over here. Fidelity FX Cache, 80% over here if you have a decent enough graphics card. Off over here. On if you have a lower generation graphics card. This one over here. On if you're using Nvidia graphics cards. Own personal preference. And you're going to come to these over here. Detail and textures are very, very important in this game as well. Okay, now I have mine at high and high. The reason why I do is because I have a really decent graphics card and decent CPU. But for most people out there, normal, perfectly fine. I can tell you right now, you can put this at normal, and you should be perfectly good to go over here. But if you have a lower end graphics card and you really want to be playing this game, go to low and you could still be playing this game perfectly fine and the game won't look like dog shit. Okay, so there's like a little preview here to show you what the game would look like on the lower settings. Can you see there's not a lot of visual difference? There's a little bit, like obviously this one's way better than that one. Like it's not so blurred out and this one is. It's because this one on the right hand side, this is normal and high. Okay, and then normal and high again, but it will yet again show you a preview. Okay, so like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you are running a lower generation graphics card, go with low here and you should be good to go. You still be able to play the fucking game. At least you'll be able to play the game and do good FPS. But for me, high with my GPU. Depth of field, turn it the fuck off. Or the how plays with this, turn it the fuck off. But yet again, personal preference. I don't know who smokes crack and uses this option, but it's a personal preference. So turn it on or off, whatever the fucking case might be. Personal preference for me, my side, turn it the fuck off. It's not a single player game. Turn it the fuck off. Detail quality level, low. Particle resolution, very low. Bullet impacts, turn it the fuck on, low on the CPU and GPU, so it doesn't do much. And obviously you want this on because you don't want to go into a building, and then obviously you go into the building, there's no bullet holes, you go into the building, you think no one's been in there, but then someone's waiting there with a shotgun or some bullshit. I don't know, I'm just making an example, okay? You don't see the bullet holes, and you think that no one's been in that building. Rather keep it on, because it has no impact on FPS, has no impact on your GPU or your CPU, it has a very low impact on your CPU and GPU. Turn it the fuck on. You can have a fucking calculator and you can still turn this on. So turn it the fuck on. All right. The effects you could turn off. While the effects are off, the effects are still on in the game. So turn it the fuck off. You don't need it. You really don't. Just turn it the fuck off because the effects are still enabled while you're in the game while this is off. So turn it the fuck off. All right. Shader quality, low. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do not get this wrong. Do not go to high and let people tell you, like, for instance, my gun is going to look like shit, or my gun has better quality at high. No, it does not the fuck have better quality at high. Leave this at low. Yet again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm making a huge example for you. I'm running a 4070 Super, and look at the settings that I'm running. Please, just follow my guidelines. And if this worked for you, smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Like this video. Share it with people that needs it. Because I know a lot of people that do. On-demand text streaming. You're going to come inside here. Yes, I know, ladies and gentlemen, you can't turn this off anymore. So you're going to go minimal. All right. Local text streaming quality. Whoever the hell out there is telling you to put this at low on YouTube videos or whatever the case might be, tell them to go fuck themselves in a comment. Please. This should be on normal for every single graphics card. Literally, the RX 580 that I was talking about, that's the equivalent to a microwave, should also be on normal. All right. Every single graphics card on normal here, turn it onto normal. Done. We're going to come to shadow and lighting. That also plays a fucking insane role on your FPS. You're going to go to very low shader quality, screen space, shadows off, ambient occlusion off, always off, leave it the fuck off, and done. Screen space reflections off, always off. You don't need to see the fucking reflections. Are you gonna look at the water that's laying in a puddle on the floor, or are you gonna look at someone's face and beam the living shit out of them? Turn it the fuck off. Static reflection quality, low. You are not gonna look at how detailed the game looks, because the game isn't detailed. It's a fucked, cracked head ass game. Literally, it's free to play, it's Warzone, it's made by Activision, the people that smoke crack, so turn it the fuck to low. Alright, environment, here we go. Environment also plays a massive fucking role on the game's FPS. Turn it off, low, off, off, off. Done. Ladies and gentlemen, fucking done. Apply these settings. Once you apply these settings, you come to the view tab. Now, the view tab is your own personal preference, but these three things over here, off, you don't want world motion blur, because then it's going to look like that. So let's just say there's a guy standing over there and you turn to the left. You don't see him anymore and he shoots you in the face because you have this fucking on. Turn it the fuck off. Weapon motion blur. Why would you want to see your weapon blur in the first place? Why? Why do you want to? That's not a single player game. Turn it the fuck off. Film grain 0.00. Otherwise, if you lift this up to any higher or its defaults, yet again, you're going to look like you're playing on your grandma's old ass TV. So turn it to 0.0 and you should be good to go. All right. The rest of the stuff is own personal preference. Then inverted flash. I've always said on all my videos that I've ever uploaded, put this on. Ever since they released this option, put it on. Because literally, if you have this off, and a flashbang falls in front of you, and you're playing this game at night, it literally looks like a flashbang came through your monitor and landed on your table, and you are physically blind in real life. So turn it on. It's a very good option to just select, okay? But yet again, I can't force you to do this. It's a personal preference. Okay, from here, we're going to go to this over here. You're going to come to interface, and you're going to come to color customization. Now, you're going to have hue, You can have your team as a certain color. You could choose any color inside here. I have this as like a baby blue color. And then I have my party also as a baby blue color. So my team and my party are basically the same color. So if I random up with a lobby that's random as teammates, they're the same color as me or my teammates and stuff like that. They're the same color. So that's a good thing. Please go ahead and do that. Then you get your enemy and you can make a custom color inside here. So you can choose any custom color that you want. I have mine as magenta pink, and I've always had mine as magenta pink on all my videos. Why? Because magenta pink stands out and it's always been my color. Lots of people use it now. Why? Because there's nothing else like it. Okay, so fucking use it to your advantage, but yet again, own personal preference. All right, scroll down, come to the color filter. Color filter 2 is the best. Color filter 3, a lot of people are trying to go over to color filter 3, but you're going to see that purple, or basically pink, is going to turn into purple right now. Watch, boom, now it's purple. You don't want that to be purple, my guys, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck no, fuck that. Filter 2, best option in the game. Both 100%, 100%. Let's go. All right, let's go to the last setting you guys are going to need to select for these settings to apply to your computer, for it to work and to be applied, and for your game to run smooth and just overall run at its best. This is what you're going to need to do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the most important thing that you're going to need to click on once you're done with everything, okay? You're going to come back to the display tab. You're going to click on Restart Shader Preloading. Click on the Restart button. I don't need to do this since my settings are already there. You're going to click on the Restart button. Then once you clicked on the Restart button, you're going to press Escape, and then quit out of your game. So just escape, quit to your desktop, quit out of your game, then launch your game again. Now listen carefully, people. Just listen to me, please. Once you launch your game again through Battle.net or Steam, at the top left corner here, it's going to say installing shaders, okay? Let the shaders finish installing. Then you can click on anything inside here. Let's just say settings, or you can click on anything. Then a square block will pop up over here and it'll say shaders are 100% complete. Then you can go ahead and jump into anything you want to play and go ahead and enjoy your game. Ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, smash the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here, and as always, leave a super thanks if this actually helped you. Fuck, I'm trying to help as best I can. I'm really trying to help the people out there as best I can. I don't want to treat you all like dummies. Like, I mean, I know people that are enthusiasts that watch my fucking videos. They know what they're doing, but they still come and watch my videos because, yeah, I mean, I give the best settings as I try. I try my best here, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, if this helped you, smash the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here, share this with your friends, share this with your family, share this with your dog, your cat, I don't give a fuck, share it with your Samsung fucking toaster fridge, computer that's busy playing COD, don't care. Anyways, as always, hope this helped you, and peace